Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Sinead Aherne. Today's top stories. Little Sisters of the Poor in Waterford has confirmed a resident has tested positive for coronavirus. For the first time in 115 years, no Irish language courses will be run in the Waterford Gaeltacht and on Rhine. A Waterford Garda superintendent says they have the resources to tackle crime as well as carrying out the ongoing COVID-19 operation. And in sport, Waterford's John O'Shea says the current crisis may give some Irish players the opportunity to break through into English clubs. The Little Sisters of the Poor, St Joseph's Home in Ferrybank, have confirmed that one resident has tested positive for COVID-19. The Mother Superior said they are engaging with the HSE and relevant authorities during this difficult time. WLR's Liz Reddy reports.
The Mother Superior at St Joseph's Home say they've implemented a specialised plan to provide appropriate care to residents and staff. Sister Rosaline said COVID-19 presents considerable challenges for their nursing home and nursing homes across Ireland. St Joseph's have thanked their staff and the extended community for their fantastic commitment and dedication. They remain committed to providing residents with the best possible care and have asked the media to respect the privacy of the residents and staff during this difficult time. They say they will not be commenting further.
There are 6 confirmed cases of COVID-19 at University Hospital Waterford. That's according to HSE figures from 8 o'clock last night. There were no new cases at the hospital over the past 24 hours. 2 people are being treated in intensive care and a further 3 patients are awaiting test results. All healthcare workers now have to wear face masks when providing close care to patients. New rules mean all nurses and doctors must have a mask on when they're within 2 metres of a patient. The INMO says in practice it means nearly all frontline healthcare workers will wear face masks. Director of Industrial Relations Tony Fitzpatrick says it's something they've been advocating for.
We welcome that this change has come in. In essence, all healthcare workers now interacting with patients, whether they're COVID positive or not, will be wearing face masks. And we believe this will protect not only the staff working within the services, but also will protect the patients as well.
For the first time in 115 years, no Irish language courses will be run in the Waterford Gaeltacht and on Rhine. The Department of Culture, Heritage and the Gaeltacht says no Irish language courses will be run in the Gaeltacht this summer as a result of COVID-19. The Director of Coláiste na Rinne, Micheál Drislan, says it will have a huge economic impact on the area.
We've been hosting students coming to us every summer since 1905, so 115 years uninterrupted. This is the first year that we won't have students coming to Rhine during the summer. So certainly it is disappointing. We would have been looking forward to welcoming 1,200 students and their families over the next 3 to 4 months. We would have 120 people employed during the summer. We would put maybe 2 million into the local economy directly in on Rhine. And we would put further millions into the local economy in West Waterford, with many families coming to visit, to stay in hotels and
The decision to ban all events of over 5,000 people until September has led to the cancellation of the All Together Now festival, which is due to take place at Curramore House in Portlaw on the August Bank Holiday weekend. The organisers say this will no doubt have severe implications on everyone involved, from artists, crew, suppliers and all those who work year-round to make the festival happen. The festival was a sellout and tickets will be fully valid for ATN next year, and they're asking people to hold on to them, which will go a long way to their survival. Ticketmaster will be in contact with ticket holders within the next 7 days. A Waterford Garda superintendent says they have the resources to tackle crime as well as carrying out the ongoing COVID-19 operation. There are fears today's good weather could lead to people travelling to parks and beaches and not observing social distancing. Garda are manning checkpoints across the city and county to ensure people are adhering to restrictions on movement. Superintendent Chris Delaney from Waterford Garda Station is encouraging the public to report any incidents of crime.
The number of residential burglaries are significantly down. Overall crime is probably down, but crime still occurs. There are still people out there who will commit crime. We would like it to be reported to us, or if people see people acting suspiciously or in locations where they should not be, that people should call it into us. We're very well resourced in the city and county, and we certainly have sufficient resources to respond to any of these calls, so people should not be afraid to ring us.
The CEO of Waterford Council says they'll be doing everything they can to protect people's physical and mental well-being. It's part of the community call, which was set up on March 30th. The helpline operated by Waterford Council has dealt with around 500 calls since then. CEO Michael Walsh spoke to WLR's Damien Tiernan about the new plans.
I suppose in a sense to provide social outlet for people in the circumstances that would... So that could be anything. That could be us delivering books like to people that are cocooned, out that'd be the likes of our libraries, like I said, the arts people, something like the sports partnership, that they'd actively get involved and be seeking to promote individual active activity, as in physical activity, obviously. So we're doing that, starting to do that again over the next week or two across a wide range of sort of things.
The helpline is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week and can be contacted on 1800 250 185. The Irish Farmers Association has welcomed the reopening of a number of Supermax outlets. 3 branches are opening in Galway today, with 5 more around the country on Friday. Customers will be able to avail of drive-through, delivery or collection services, with all seating areas and lobbies closed to comply with restrictions. President of the IFA, Tim Cullinan, says it's great news after a tough month for farmers.
It has been absolutely devastating on the Irish beef industry. So, we welcome what's happening with supermarkets today, and hopefully we can see more outlets opening up as the weeks go by.
It's likely to be mid-June before any new government is formed. That's according to sources across all parties in Leinster House. The Greens, Labour and the Social Democrats are all considering dire new economic warnings from the government. Our political correspondent Sean Defoe reports.
The process of forming a government in 2016 was roundly criticised for taking far too long, with more than 70 days between polling day and Enda Kenny being re-elected as Taoiseach. It's now day 74 since election 2020, and we're being told that any new regime is still more than a month away. There has been some progress, with Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil coming together in an historic agreement to enter government, but yesterday's economic forecast would have done little to convince a third party to join their coalition. The worst recession since the 1930s, record levels of unemployment and a €23 billion hole blown in the budget means that no one can go in with a shopping list of demands for the next 5 years. The Social Democrats and Labour have signalled well privately that they're unlikely to enter government. That leaves the Greens, who've taken a week already to put together a detailed response to the pitch from Leo Varadkar and Micheál Martin. That's led to some in Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil believing Eamon Ryan's party is seriously considering entering government. But even if they turned around and started programme for government talks tomorrow, we'd be weeks away from a potential deal, with no new government looking likely until mid-June.
Waterford City and County Council say they've made contact with the letting agent for City Square following the liquidation of their anchor tenant Debenhams. Last week, staff were informed that the company's Irish operations, including its Waterford store in City Square, will not be reopening. The retailer had temporarily shut its 11 outlets because of COVID-19. Waterford Council have offered their support to Lambert Smith Hampton commercial real estate consultants in attracting a new tenant. Meanwhile, Debenhams workers in Waterford yesterday held an hour-long silent protest outside City Square. Michelle Gavin, who worked as a business support assistant, says their personal belongings are still in the store.
All our belongings are still in the store, unfortunately, but given their due, they have said they will allow us at some stage to go back and retrieve our items. So hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later.
And temperatures could reach 20 degrees over the next couple of days. Met Éireann says it'll be warm, sunny and dry until the weekend at least. It's expected to be warmest in the Midlands, with cooler spells coming along the east coast. Meteorologist Joanna Donnelly says the forecast for the week is looking positive.
For the next few days, for sure, just dry and sunny with high pressure in command and light breezes too. The outlook for the foreseeable is for continued settled conditions. You might see an odd shower pop up at times, but certainly nothing on the horizon to break the nice conditions.
WLR Sport, Ireland's local station of the year.
Starting with soccer, where newly appointed assistant coach with the Ireland under-21s, John O'Shea, says the current crisis may give some Irish players the opportunity to break into English clubs. The Waterford man is currently first-team coach with Reading. He says there's some great players coming through at the moment.
That they keep developing and that they keep getting their chances and forcing their way through at the clubs. Who knows what this scenario in terms of the football finances for clubs to be buying lots of foreign players. They might be concentrating more so on, I say, homegrown players
the Irish players obviously have been, lots of them have been over there since they were 15, 16, 17, so they're classified now as homegrown in the academies and stuff like that. So there could be more of a chance for the Irish players to be forcing their way through.
St Patrick's Athletic have temporarily laid off all of their playing and coaching staff. They're the third Premier Division club to take such a measure after Sligo Rovers and Cork City. In Gaelic games, the GA are facing a race against time to have any kind of championship in 2020. It's reported this morning the Provisional Club Championship may not see the light of day due to the freeze on the calendar. While in racing, the Galway races may proceed in July, but only behind closed doors. The race committee will not be able to permit fans at Ballybridge due to the rules around mass gatherings. WLR asking you to stay at home. Our next bulletin is at 2.